Hello again. We're working on our Inventor series again. Now we're going to talk about the basics of Inventor. So let's start with a new. So up again on our ribbon bar up here, we're going to pick new right here. Now, as Inventor comes up, it goes to a default menu of different types of drawings you can create. Now, our default in our case is set to English. Well, so let's look at the English for just a second. English divides out into DWG type files, which are essentially AutoCAD files, IDW files, which are Inventor drawing files, IAM, which are assembly files, IPT files, which are part files, and then an IPN file, which is a presentation type file. Now, as we look through it, let's go back to our default screen. There are metrics here if you need them, but the metrics get a lot more detailed depending on whether or not you're using ISO or DIN or GOST standards, whichever you're working with. So let's go back to our default. Now, for our general default, we usually start with a part file. And from a part file, we then draw all of our parts and create an assembly drawing after we've made all of our parts. Once our assembly drawing is completed, we then generally make a presentation file, which is where we create our exploded views. Now, once our exploded views and all those are created, we can then take them and put them on a drawing sheet. Now, our IDWs are our drawing sheets, and it creates links so we can parametrically design all these pieces. So, let's just simply start with an IPT. Okay, we'll just look at it for just a second, and then we'll go on to the others. So an IPT file pulls up, and it begins in the sketch mode. Now, if you look over here at our browser bar down the left-hand side of our screen, we have the View Master here, which allows us to look at things. We have various planes, which, if I hold my cursor on it, you really can't see them. They're highlighted in red in the middle of the screen. The YZ plane, the XZ plane, the XY plane now showing up, the X-axis, the Y-axis, the Z-axis, or center points. All these are different planes we can sketch on. Our tools up here at the top on the ribbon bar will change depending on which one of our menus we've selected for our piece up here. That's the essentials of that one. So let's go back to our main menu. The two most important ones for us today are the IPT and the IDW. Now, we can't make a drawing without a part. We can't make a part until we know what we're drawing. So once we've got it figured out, we can start with drawing our individual parts. Then we can make our IDW files or our drawing files. Now, again, we have a ribbon bar at the top that allows us to place views. It has annotation tools for doing dimensions and callouts and balloons and chamfers and all that. It has tools for managing, measuring distances, etc. A manage bar that allows us to edit information on it, border zone, title block symbols, etc., etc. Various view tools that allows us to look at various things, including our axis and how we rotate. The vault is something specific to Inventor, and we'll not worry about it right now. But the environments allows us to, add nail boards, eco-advisor, etc. How much it costs to actually build the thing. And then these are our general bar up here with the engineersrule.org and all the show me animations, etc., etc. The wiki help. So the first thing we need to do is know how to create our drawings. Biggest problem we have with ours is right now this sheet is a C-size sheet as noted down here. We generally don't draw on C's, we draw on B's in this class. So we're going to change our sheet size. So I just simply right click and I go to edit sheet. Now if I edit the sheet, I can simply change this to be a B-size sheet. At this point I can change it to be portrait with the title block in the lower right hand corner, or landscape. Generally we go with landscape. Now we're just going to leave it sheet. If we need a revision on it, we can add that here. We can also add it later. Let's not worry about it right now. So I'm going to go OK, and now our sheet size has changed. Now if I go back up here and let's look at our anode for a minute. Let's look around for a second. We got all kinds of symbols and things we can add to it. Some of the symbols we'll have to add are datum dimensions, clearances, etc., welds, all that kinds of things need to go in there. Other things that need to go in there, revisions for our title blocks, tag revisions, whole callouts, general tables, etc., etc., balloons to note which parts which on assembly drawings. All that stuff's done up here. If you use the whole wizard or you use a chamfer tool, it'll actually create the callouts for you on a flat pattern. It'll actually give you the bend and the punch information as you go. So as we're looking through this, we've got all kinds of possibilities of things we can add to it. So there's what when we get to actually creating the sheets, we'll show you how to do that. So there's our sheets. Now, last but not least, We're going to leave this one, go back to our new, and we're going to grab an assembly drawing. Now an assembly starts out, it's very similar, but we don't draw really in the assemblies. We place components. So we'll go into place, and it allows us to look up a component we want. In this case, I've got a bunch of different components here we can just throw on there just for random sillies. It's like whatever we want. When we throw a part in, our first part is tacked down, pinned down. So we usually want the one that's going to be stable. Usually whatever our base piece is, and then everything else is attached to it. So as I'm looking through here, let's just put a pulley piece in. So if I want to put in a pulley piece, I know the saddle on my pulley is generally the piece that's not going to move. That's not always true, but in our case, yeah, the saddle is the one that's not going to move. Okay. So we're going to just drop that in. Now I've created one, I right click, I'm done. Now I can add other parts to this, put the rivet pin in or the axle and put the actual pulley around it, and then I can actually animate it. All this stuff's really easy to do. We'll show you how to do that as we get to those parts, but that's what we're up to. Those are our 3 basic setups. The IPNs we'll show you as we get to exploded views, and the weldments I don't actually think we'll be using in this course, so we'll skip those for a later date. Thank you. Bye.